Okay, so I'd like to welcome everybody to our event here today. This is Study English and Explore Ireland Country Focus Russia. Just before we get started, if I could just ask everybody if you can mute your microphones if you're not presenting or involved in discussions. Feel free to put any questions that you might have in the chat box, or you can send me an email. I have some questions received already, and we can address those emails and questions at the end of the event. For today's event, we're just going to be looking at the benefits of studying in Ireland. We're looking at the English language education sector, courses for juniors and adult market. We have presentations here today from 3 different cities, from Dublin, from Cork and from Galway. And we also have 9 schools on the call with us today from those cities. In Dublin, we have ATC, Atlas Language School, the Centre of English Studies, Emerald Cultural Institute, and the Horner School. In Galway, we have Atlantic Language Galway and my own school, Bridgemills Galway Language Centre. And in Cork, we have ACET in Cork and the Cork English College. Also joining us today, and thank you for doing so, we have Evan Lynch, who's the Market Advisor of Enterprise Ireland Moscow, who helped me in putting together today's event. And we also have Dennis O'Leary, who is the Visa Office Manager at the Embassy of Ireland in Moscow. And he's going to talk to us just a little bit about some things related to visa events. So if I can cut across, Evan, first of all to you, Evan Lynch at Enterprise Ireland Moscow, and if we could just hear a little bit from you today, and thank you again for helping us organize today's event.
No problem. So good morning and good afternoon to some. Thanks for the kind introduction. And just to repeat, my name is Evan Lynch, and I'm in the Market Advisor working for Enterprise Ireland, the state agency which promotes the development and growth of Irish businesses abroad. And I'm delighted to have been invited to this webinar, as education will play a key role in our growth strategy for the market for the next number of years, as the market has a lot of potential. So, and I just want to say that it's fantastic to see a number of our English language clients, our English language school clients, to come together to organise such a great webinar to showcase the best that Ireland has to offer. And I want to just wish all of my colleagues the best of luck in the market, and I hope that we can continue to cooperate into the future together.
Great, Evan. Thanks. And Evan, if I can just introduce you to Justin Quinn, who's at Centre for English Studies in Dublin. Justin, I think, did you have a question you wanted to put to Evan?
Yeah, I have a few questions. I've spoken to Evan earlier today, and so I have a couple of questions for Evan and a couple of questions for Dennis about what's happening. But first of all, Evan, good to see you again. The last time we met was at the International Markets Week in Dublin, with very different times out in the RDS. Little did we know what was coming at us in that time, what was about nearly 2 years ago. But really, I suppose from a school's point of view, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Dennis and his team and to the EI team in Moscow for giving the information and clarity to the agents about where Ireland is and what's happening. It's one of the things we keep hearing back, is that the Irish embassies are much more proactive in funneling good information through to the agents, which gives the market a sense of calm and allows the agents at least to know what's happening. So I suppose the first question really for Evan, for you, is to give us as schools an update on where Russia is in the vaccine rollout, whereabouts relative to the rest of Europe. How far down the road are the Russian populations with the vaccine rollout?
Well, let me just start off by giving the official statistics. So according to state agencies here, there's been 73.2 million doses given out. Now, approximately 32.4 million people here are currently fully vaccinated. So that would equal around 22.5% of the population. Now, in terms of Europe, there's been a lot of critique in market and outside the market, saying that Russia has been very slow in its vaccine uptake. But that it's very debatable. So that's where we currently stand now. There's been quite a massive uptake in the last 2 months. As you can imagine, there's been things put in place to encourage the local population to be vaccinated. That's the best way to put it. So that's currently where we are right now with it.
Good. And do you know if the Irish government are accepting the Sputnik vaccination?
Not yet. It's Sputnik, as I am aware, is currently not on the WHO's list of approved vaccines, but I believe that the European Union as a whole will start to begin recognizing the vaccine very soon.
Good. And as a way, have you noticed an upswing in Russian people traveling overseas? Has that happened yet?
Yeah, I've actually noticed there has been an upswing, but it's definitely with countries that have started accepting the vaccines. I believe Turkey is definitely one good example where people have started flying there to take holidays. And there's another few countries outside, like, you know, probably like the Maldives or other countries in Africa, where it's just purely for holidays. But there's also an increase of people traveling to Europe, but obviously going down the PCR test route.
Okay. And I suppose the last question that I have for you, Evan, before I move on to Dennis, is you know, as we move into post-COVID times, you know, I think Ireland is in a fairly strong, you know, situation with the level of vaccinations that we have over here. Was there anything that you'd suggest to us schools as a way to increase the promotion of Ireland? And is there anything we can do from our side to help in the promotion over in Russia?
Personally, I believe what's being done today with the webinar, with the schools coming together, is probably the best way to promote the country, to showcase the country as a whole. If you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
To almost, like, you know, almost put aside your differences and come together for a kind of a Team Ireland things, because that's the best way to go. Because in the market itself, obviously there's, you know, these kind of stereotypes about Ireland, you know, as we have our stereotypes about Russia. You know, when we mention Ireland, they think of whiskey, they think of the Cranberries, U2, and it's just good to come together and just present Ireland as a country, and just to inform the local population about us and what we can do. And it's not just education that I'd advise this to, probably almost all sectors, all industries, just to come together and work together.
Great, Evan.
The country.
Evan, thank you for that. And Justin, thank you for the questions. If I can come on then next to Dennis O'Leary, if we could just have a few words from you. So you're the Visa Office Manager at the Embassy of Ireland in Moscow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give us an update on where things are at the moment.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here as Visa Office Manager here. Like the last year and a half have been pretty crazy. Like I must say, in 2019, we dealt with over 28,000 applications, many thousand students, both short-term English language and long-term English language. And I was expecting a huge growth in that trajectory because things were going so well. And like even when March 22nd came, we had a couple of hundred applications outside there on the shelves waiting to go, and nothing has happened since. Like I'm going to say, currently we are accepting the long stay English language visa applications. We're accepting them. We're not issuing them. We're not processing them, but we are accepting them with a view that come the autumn, that this sector will be open again. And like there's no short stay visa applications of any sort except under the emergency or priority criteria. And that also affects the short-term English language schools, we'll say for the juniors, and that in which there was massive uptake from Russia and Ukraine. And like they're all, we can't accept any of those applications. But like, I believe like that when the government will be making an announcement, I think is it towards the first half of next month. I think that all C applications will reopen again, and that the D long stay ones will open again. Like we have some here awaiting that announcement, but like also there would be many Russian agents on to me about it, and like what I do with them, because like I look at my function here to facilitate movement, you know, and I will do everything to facilitate movement between Russia and Ireland. Like, and I would give the agents like my own personal email here, my own personal phone number. Like, so like if they ever wanted to contact me, they could. Some of them contact me about individual applications. Some people don't like that. I don't mind. You know, this is just something I can look up and I can give them an answer. And sometimes the applicant might have applied late or something like that, and we can get that through. So like I will do everything that I will ensure that this office will do everything to facilitate the movement when it does come. But a huge barrier at the moment is like currently all people entering Ireland from Russia or through Russia have to enter mandatory hotel quarantine. Another barrier, of course, is Sputnik isn't recognised, although I know that the EU has recognised vaccine to people coming from San Marino now, and San Marino has been nearly all Sputnik. But that aside, like they haven't in a general way recognised the Russian vaccines in the same manner as the Russians don't recognise the European four either. Like, you know, so but like the mandatory hotel quarantine is in place. And so long as that's in place, I don't believe like that. Maybe some long-term students might be willing to go into mandatory hotel quarantine for a fortnight, but short-term, no. Especially if the course is going to be for 3 weeks or 2 weeks or a week. But like I must say, the Russian numbers I think will have to come down before they're taken off the red list as well. You know, and also just like inis.gov.ie is gone now. Well, it's still there, but like the new website is irishimmigration.ie, and that appears to be a lot clearer. Although I am not a user of it, but like the feedback that we've got so far is like that it's far better than the previous version.
Okay. Great, Dennis. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Justin, did you have a few follow-up questions there?
Yeah, really, it was just a question for Dennis. Was that have you noticed any upswing in the inquiries or number of applications over the last couple of months?
Yeah, there has been an upswing in inquiries, in emails and that, but like that's mainly short term. Regarding the long term. English language, no, there has been inquiries, but I wouldn't say that there has been an upswing in inquiries, because I think people are pretty informed, because like the website is clear enough, and people, I'd say that people may get their information there first, or they may get their information from the agent as well, you know, and some of them might be holding off until such time as their application can be processed. And like we have about 15 or 16 applications outside awaiting this notification, and like once the notification comes, they'll be out of here in a couple of days, like, you know.
Okay, great. Okay, Dennis, listen, thank you very much for that, and Justin, thank you for your questions.
Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, we'll move on then to our presentation section, and so we're going to have 3 presentations from Dublin, from Galway, and from Cork. So our first presentation is with Ugo. So Ugo, let me just find you.
Hi everybody, thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, and I will give you the controls. So you should have the posting now, and you can
my screen now.
Please.
It works. Here we go. Okay. So thanks, Patrick. My name is Ugo Greevy, and I'm from ATC Language Schools, and I'm presenting today on behalf of the Dublin schools on the call. I think I can speak for all 9 schools on the call that we are very positive and looking forward to the full reopening in line with universities and third level colleges next month. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to show you why, in our opinion, Dublin is one of the leading destinations in the world in which to study English. I'd like to start things off to give you some very general facts about Ireland and an overview on Dublin. I'm sure Dublin is already a familiar and popular destination for many of you, but hopefully you will learn a couple of interesting facts you didn't realize about this city. So Ireland is a member of the EU since 1973. We are now the only remaining native English-speaking country within the European Union. We have a population of just over 5 million, and our currency is the euro. Dublin is the capital city and the largest city on the island, with a population of circa 1.24 million. Dublin is located on the east coast of the country and is centred on the River Liffey, framed by the Dublin Mountains and overlooking the beautiful Dublin Bay. Dublin City can trace its origins back more than 1,000 years, and the city provides a wonderful blend of the contemporary and historic. A UNESCO City of Literature, an historic powerhouse, and a super cool capital, Dublin is a resoundingly social place, packed with culture, creativity, and of course the crack. And it has been voted Europe's friendliest city twice on TripAdvisor. In the early 2000s, a lot of the city centre was regenerated, especially around the Docklands area, which has almost been completely rebuilt in the last 20 years. We've had a huge influx of international tech companies who have established themselves in Ireland. The Docklands area, known as the Silicon Docks, is effectively Europe's Silicon Valley. Dublin is the European headquarters of the world's biggest tech companies: Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, Microsoft, and many other IT companies, which make it a great choice for students who aspire to work in that industry. Airport and transport links. Dublin International Airport is the main entry point to Ireland and just 20 minutes from Dublin city centre. Dublin is an easy city to travel around as it's quite small and compact. Students can move easily around the city using the Lewis tram with 2 lines that cross and interconnect both parts of the city. Also the Dart that connects the city from Howth on the north side all the way to Bray and Greystones in the south, and of course the extensive Dublin bus network. Students can also use city bikes to move around the city. I suppose one of the few positives from the lockdown has been the extensive investment in cycling tracks across the city centre and those suburbs. Dublin is a young and vibrant city, and there are 4 top university campuses with over 120,000 students enrolled. I'm sure you're all familiar with Trinity, UCD and DCU, but we also have a new university campus, the Technological University, TU Dublin, which has just recently opened. Of course, if we're talking about the universities, we must also mention the 5 schools who are here from Dublin on this call, and I'll just briefly introduce each of them. There's Atlas Language School, Emerald Cultural Institute, Horner School of English, Centre of English Studies, and ATC Language Schools. And their contact details are on the last slide in the presentation. So what makes Ireland and Dublin a leading destination for learning English? All the schools here today believe our commitment to quality is a key feature. And in our opinion, where we excel is in the quality of the courses and the programs we offer. All of the schools on the call today are recognised and accredited by QQI and ACELS in Ireland. We are also members of Marketing English in Ireland, and then different schools are also members of a number of international organisations such as Quality English, YALC, ALTO, and Equals, all of whom foster excellence in language education. We are inspected on a regular basis by all these bodies. In addition, I'd like to highlight the fact that the English language teachers teaching in our schools are highly qualified with a minimum of a university degree, as well as a recognized teaching English as a foreign language certificate. So this means English language classes in Ireland are taught by professionally qualified teachers. We have a full range of English language courses in Dublin across all the schools. Students have so much choice and can find a school that suits the unique requirements and age profile, with the added benefit of a range of accommodation options, including homestay and residential. The courses offered include long-term and short-term adult courses, junior summer camps, business English, Erasmus+, school year programs, and school group mini-stays. My colleague Joelle from ASET will talk in more detail about the range of courses and also the different exam courses that are available in our schools. Coming to study in Ireland and then departing with a recognised diploma is very important for us, as well as, I'm sure, for your students. The next area of quality I'd like to talk about are the various accommodation options that are available to students in Ireland. Irish host families are renowned for their warmth, their welcome, and their hospitality. They're very friendly, and Irish people are naturally curious, and the families like to get to know their students. In Dublin and Cork, the host families typically live in the suburbs surrounding the city within easy commuting distance. In Galway, many families are also located within walking distance of the schools. All our families are inspected on a regular basis, and we will collect and maintain feedback from all our students, and therefore we can stand over the quality of the accommodation. Typically, adult students would have their own single room in a family, whereas junior students would share a room, ideally with a student of a different nationality. In recent years, many high-quality purpose-built student residences have been built in the city centres of Dublin, Cork, and Galway, all with ensuite rooms and excellent on-site amenities, including gyms, study rooms, and social spaces. Also, junior residential programs are very popular in university campus accommodation, typically in single ensuite rooms, as well as in a selection of Irish boarding schools. These junior programs are available in Dublin, Cork, and Galway, and other locations throughout the country. Dublin has a vibrant city centre, beautiful parks, elegant Georgian architecture, galleries, museums, and many famous and popular visitor attractions. The city is compact and easy to get around. You can be at the beach or in the mountains in just 25 minutes. The city centre is surrounded by friendly towns and villages, all of which make up our Dublin community and make Dublin a unique place to live for students with lots to see and to do. I'm now going to show a quick 30-second video from Fáilte, Ireland. So I hope this works.
You might think you know Dublin, but maybe it's time for a closer look. To seek out wild sights in the heart of the city and find stories bold and brave at every turn. Live your days surrounded by surprising treasures and pass through gateways that lift your spirits. Lead to sparkling city nights. There's so much to explore. Keep discovering Dublin.
Now, hopefully I can figure my way back into the presentation. Okay. So for the more adventurous students, there is also a wide range of coastal and outdoor activities to enjoy, such as kayaking, sea swimming, cycling, mountain biking, as well as trekking in the Dublin mountains and spectacular cliff walks in Howth and in Bray. So in short, Dublin is an excellent choice, and there are so many exciting experiences awaiting you in our beautiful city. We really look forward to receiving and welcoming your students in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Hugo. That's great, Hugo. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll leave Dublin and we'll come to the West Coast and to our second presentation today. So John Daly, who's here at Atlantic, is going to give our second presentation. John, let me just make you the host now. John, you should have the controls when you're ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Good Morning. I just wanted to make sure we had something on the screen before I started. Good morning, everybody. As I say, my name is John Daly, and I'm representing the two schools on the west coast of Ireland this morning. I suppose Evan's remarks were quite important in that we do need to have a unity of purpose in how we promote this little island of ours. It's an incredibly beautiful island with loads of attractions and cultural aspects that are unique to Ireland that many visitors from all over the world wish to come and see. So my job this morning, hopefully, is to focus a little bit on why you would come to us in the west of Ireland, and maybe illustrate some of the attractions of the west of Ireland. But I don't want to stress that Cork, Dublin, Belfast, all of these cities, all of these areas of the country have aspects that are wonderful to visit, memorable. People leave this country generally with fantastic memories of the people, the locations that they visited, and maybe the beautiful landscapes that they've also, as well as sampling the culture of the country. So, as you can see, we have Dublin and Galway on the west coast. I'm just, again, this morning to try to bring attention to the fact that if you go north to the Titanic Museum in Belfast, or if you're familiar with the Game of Thrones, you can see that lovely picture on your left-hand side. That's being shot on location in that part of the world. So again, a lovely place to go and visit up on the north. Even down in that photograph of that little town of Cove, that's where the Titanic actually set off. It was its last port to leave before its tragic end. So again, that's Cove in the south of the country. Again, so north, south, east, west, there is so much to do. There's so many things to visit. Cork has some wonderful, the English market, Blarney Castle, where you get the gift of the gab. That gives you that ability to speak more, or so they say, and so on. If it's distilleries to visit to see how we make this wonderful Irish whiskey, or prehistoric monuments, there are so many different things to see. But Galway is what I'm going to try and emphasize this morning. And for those of you who don't know, it's very easy to come into Dublin Airport. It's a 2.5-hour bus journey. There is a shuttle service leaving on the hour from Dublin Airport. You don't even have to leave the grounds of the airport. The buses are right there when you come out of the airport building, and you can jump on a bus, plug into your Wi-Fi and head to Galway, and it takes you about 2.5 hours to get there. Quick comment there, the Lonely Planet said Galway is arguably Ireland's most engaging city. So that word engaging is very important, because how does a city engage you? Well, hopefully the next couple of slides might help you to understand that. So Dublin, big, wonderful city, 1 million people, loads of attractions, very unique to Dublin. Galway, small city, very compact, and you see from the photographs in front of you some of the flavor of the place. Just at the bottom there, you see this narrow cobblestone streets. It's pedestrianized. I think that's very important. Galway is very, very small. It has around 80,000 inhabitants in the city area. So, and a lot of the streets are pedestrianized, and you can walk around Galway in about 20 minutes on foot. No buses, no cars required. So I think that's a very attractive element of the city for students, because both our schools, the Galway Language Centre at Bridgemills and Atlantic, are right in the heart of the city. So when you come out of the school, you're out into this atmosphere. And atmosphere is a word I would associate with Galway. When tourists come, they get this vibrancy. Why has it happened, or why Galway in particular? I would suggest it's a young city. It has a big university, which I would say about 15% of the inhabitants of the city are really students. Some of them are international students, and our own 2 language schools are also contributing to that student population. So you get that young feel. Again, you see a photograph up here of buskers playing out in the street. So you can mingle, you can walk down the street and you can drop into one of the pubs, you can sit outside and have your pint of Guinness, but you can listen to the music and you just watch the world go by. So that's, I think, some of the reason why we get this lovely atmosphere. Its size, its easy pedestrianized feel makes it very comfortable to navigate. Again, you have a picture out here of Salt Hill. Salt Hill is about a 20-minute stroll, and you're really on the coast, and you can walk along the promenade, or you can go swimming on the beach, and there's a lovely beach. And that is just about 15-20 minutes from the city center, and that allows you to look at the Atlantic Ocean. So you have Galway City, and then as you want to explore further outside the city, we have some of the most spectacular destinations in Ireland itself. I'll just name check two. Many of you may have heard of the Cliffs of Moher, but on your right-hand lower picture, you can see some spectacular cliffs. Again, a hugely popular destination for all our students to visit and for tourists generally. Again, Connemara, out about 40 minutes drive from Galway, spectacular landscape, hill walking, very accessible, no buildings, very unspoiled landscape, very unique to Ireland, its landscape in particular. In Connemara, the west of Ireland, it has its own rugged beauty. So Aran Islands, 40 minutes by boat, beautiful island. You can jump on your bicycle, head up, and again, you can be right on the edge of the cliffs, looking out onto the Atlantic. These all have to be visited, experienced to understand the special feel of the west coast of Ireland. Again, so I want to stress again that Ireland is full of festivals. Throughout the year, you can do so many different things in so many different parts of the country. I've just checked a few. You have the Cork Jazz Festival in October, which is an international music festival. The city is abuzz. You have the National Ploughing, which is a big, huge agricultural event, but it's a national event and well worth a visit if you're in the country at the time. And so on. You have the Kilkenny Arts Festival, you have the Rose of Tralee. St. Patrick's Day Festival has become a huge event in Ireland in March 17th on our national holiday in Dublin. It is a week-long activity and festivity at this stage. But in all the small towns and villages and cities around Ireland, you will see something happening, a parade going on in their own environs. So again, contributing to that unique cultural aspect of Ireland that you want to see and feel. Again, Galway should really be called the city of the festivals. We literally have a festival every month now, probably culminating in the Galway Arts Festival, which is held in July. And again, on the picture you see of the spectacular parade through the city, through those narrow little medieval streets, you see some of the type of spectacle that's been put on. You have the races, the horse racing festival. Again, immediately after the arts festival finishes, we go straight into a horse racing festival. And I said we have about 80,000 people, but about another 100,000 decide to visit the city. So you can imagine the atmosphere that we achieve in the city at that time. So the two schools. So my own school is on the left, the Atlantic Language, and Pat, who is presenting today, the Galway Language Centre, commonly known as the Bridge Mills. We're right in the heart of the city. And again, as I say, a small city. So both our schools would be about 10 minutes walk from each other. And in the centre there, you see the little green section, Eyre Square. That is the very heart of the city, which is about 2 minutes walk from my own school and about 5 minutes from Pat. And again, all of the streetscapes that you see on that map is essentially the city centre. Just some key facts that I would like to share again with you. So again, we have all the accommodation options that you would expect for organized language schools. Obviously, we have our host families, our bed and breakfast options, hotels, hostel, and some of the new modern student residences that have popped up in Galway and some of the other cities, Cork and Dublin. Again, connectivity is quite good. very easy to get on a bus from Dublin to Galway, or from Galway to Cork and to Limerick and so on. Excellent connectivity throughout the country. Again, it's only about 4 hours to go from the south in Cork right up to the north, 4 to 5 hours, and you're on the top of the country. So easy to get around. Something that's useful to also highlight is employment opportunities. Again, Galway is a very tourist city, and as a result, it has a lot of hotels, bars, restaurants, but also some big pharmaceutical multinationals. So there are options for students who are on long stay to pick up part-time work, and that's an attractive thing for students who are staying for quite a while. So I'm just going to play this little video for you, which I hope kind of encapsulates what I've tried to get a sense of how the city of Galway feels. And so I'm just going to play this for you. It's just about a minute and see how we get on. Okay, so hopefully that little video gave you a taste of what Galway and the west of Ireland is like. I want to thank you very much for your time and patience this morning. So just to reiterate, I'm representing the two schools in the west of Ireland this morning, Atlantic Language School and the Galway Language Centre. The little presentation I did for you this morning has some nice videos inserted in it. So even if I went a little bit fast, or if you want to in your own time and leisure, there are little videos about the west of Ireland and also about the city. So hopefully you'll have a chance to revisit those. Thank you very much for your time.
John, thank you. Great, John, thank you very much. Okay, and so we're going to travel from the west of Ireland in Galway down to Cork and to Joelle. Joelle is going to give our last presentation today from the city of Cork. So Joelle, I'll just make you the host. 1 second now. Okay, Joelle, so you should be getting the hosting now and you should be able to go.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
So, hello everybody. My name is Joelle Code and I am based in ASET in Cork in the south of Ireland. Sorry, just a moment. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there are two schools in Cork. There's ourselves, ASET Cork Active Centre of English Training, and there's CEC Cork English College. About Cork. Cork is Ireland's gateway to Europe's finest maritime history and has the second largest natural harbour in the world. Ireland's fun-loving, independent-minded city is known to locals as the real capital. And built on a series of islands, this ancient merchant city is steeped in history and has a rich artistic culture. Cork's compact city centre is a busy shopping district with mainstream and local boutiques. The dining options include upscale Atlantic seafood bistros and long-standing pubs that serve classic Irish stew and host live traditional folk music sessions. So Cork City itself, it's a very young and vibrant university city with many third-level colleges. For example, there's University College Cork, UCC, Munster Technological University, MTU, and Cork College of Commerce, just to name a few. Cork International Airport is approximately 4 km from the city centre and provides access to a host of international destinations. With a relatively small population of approximately 200,000, it provides all the conveniences of a city in a safe and friendly environment, where students can learn and interact with the very local and friendly people. According to the Lonely Planet Travel Guide, Cork City is one of the top 10 cities in the world to visit. So now I'm just going to play a short video, which is from Pure Cork, the official tourism board in Cork City and County. Okay, so you could see from that short video that there are many beautiful attractions in Cork City and outside the city. There are museum, cultural sites, Blackrock Castle, you can see Shannon Bells, Fitzgerald's Park, Crawford Art Gallery. There are breathtaking scenery in Cork County, from buzzing streets and vibrant festivals to unforgettable landscapes. There are so many places to visit in Cork County that are brimming with Irish culture, old and new. You can experience its dramatic coastal landscapes, historical treasures, and spectacular islands. To the right here, you can see Inchdowney Beach, which was named the best beach in Ireland in TripAdvisor's 2019 Traveller's Choice Awards for beaches. And being honest, you can really see how beautiful it is. So all the schools on this call, we have programs for all ages, both adult and junior programs. We offer standard and intensive English for the adults. This ranges from 15, 20, 26, 30 hours per week. We offer business English. A lot of schools will offer part-time and full-time business English courses. We have study and work programs. We offer university pathway programs. The schools on this call would have universities both in Ireland and in the UK. So it's possible to feed into these universities. We offer examination preparation courses. So there are choices of the Cambridge FCE, CAE, PET and CET. We offer IELTS, OET, TOEIC, TIE, TOLS. We offer corporate training. So this is more aimed at business clients and clients in management. You can take individual tuition or full-time executive and professional courses. We offer teacher training Erasmus Plus programs. We have specialist English courses based on aviation, medical, military, banking, financing. And then we offer senior programs for more mature clients aged 50 plus who like a more relaxed approach to English. They can have English classes in the morning with activities in the afternoon. The junior programs, we all offer English and multi-activity programs. English and football with Valencia and Juventus clubs, English and rugby with Munster and Leinster rugby clubs, English and filmmaking, English and journalism, English and horse riding, English and music, English and water sports, English and STEM. A lot of schools on this call would offer high school programs. This is the opportunity for students to be integrated into secondary schools. We have both state and boarding private schools. Again, the schools here would have connections with boarding schools both in Ireland and in the UK. And then we have winter school groups and mini-stay programs where students come for 1-2 weeks throughout the winter. So there's the possibility for the students. And that is it. So I thank you for listening. And if you've got any questions, you can pop it into the chat box or send us an email. I'd just like to give you your contact details for both ESET Cork and CEC, should you wish to contact us at any stage. Thank you.
Joelle, that's great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Before we finish then, and thank you to all the presenters today from Ugo in Dublin, John in Galway, and Joelle in Cork. I had just a few small questions that have come in via email. Scarlett, if I can come to you first, Scarlett, in Emerald in Dublin. There was a question regarding accommodation preferences for Russian students. Do students generally choose host family or residential, or in your experience, what have students chosen?
So I guess it depends on the type of student as well. So obviously the Russian market for Ireland is very strong traditionally for junior students, and where it would predominantly the request would have traditionally been residential from Russia. This has changed in recent years, and certainly host family accommodation has become more popular in the last few years for Russian students traveling to Ireland for summer programs or mini stay programs during the year. So that is something that has evolved and changed certainly over the years. For adults then, it's very much varies. Actually, adult Russian students, they like the experience, and say Russian teachers like the experience of staying in an Irish host family. So it very much depends on, it does probably break down junior adult, but we've seen a change in this over the last 10 years, definitely.
Okay, Scarlett, thank you very much. My second question then, Trevor, if I can come to you, Trevor Horner from Horner School in Dublin. A question regarding the length of stay. Is there a typical length of stay that Russian students stay for, or does it vary depending on the client?
It does vary depending on the client, but I mean, we do see clients staying from say 2 weeks plus. I would say the majority of students from Russia would be a little bit longer. So, 4 weeks, 6 weeks plus, and then right up to 6 month stays.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it really does depend on the client.
Great. Okay, thanks, Trevor. And last question then, Sunny in Cork English College, if I can come to you. The question was, is there a particular language program that is of interest to Russian students? An exam program, general English or work and study, or what is your experience of what might be of most interest to Russian students?
I suppose in my experience, we'd have a lot of students on the long-term study and work visa, so the 25 weeks of study and then 8 weeks to work or holiday. And with us, and I'm sure with a lot of other schools, many of the students start with general English and then move over to exam preparation, be it Cambridge, IELTS, because as part of the program, they have to take an exit exam as part of their registration. So I'd say the study and work. And as all the speakers touched on, there's a lot of great job opportunities there as well for the students to work. Use their English in a social context, professional context, I suppose. So yeah, the study and work programs.
Great, Sunny, thank you very much. Okay, so that concludes our presentation, our focus today on Study and Explore Ireland. I want to thank the presenters who gave us such great presentations today and gave us an introduction to studying in 3 destinations in Ireland. Thank you to the schools who are on the call today from Dublin, ATC, Atlas Language School, Centre of English Studies, Emerald Cultural Institute and Horner School in Galway, Atlantic Language in Galway, and myself, Bridgemills Galway Language Centre. I'm thanking myself, but anyway, and in Cork, ASET in Cork, and also Cork English College. Also, special thanks to Evan Lynch, Market Advisor at Enterprise Ireland in Moscow, who helped so much with the coordination and the setting up of today's event. Thank you very much to Evan. To Dennis O'Leary, thank you for coming along from the Visa Office at the Embassy of Ireland in Moscow and telling us a little bit about the situation at present. And then finally, to the agents who are joining us today and to agents who will be watching this recording after the event, we thank you for your time and your interest. We hope that you've learned a bit about the 3 destinations and the opportunities for studying English in Ireland. And if you have any questions, please contact us at any of the contact details that you saw on screen during today's event. Again, thanks to everybody for coming along, and we look forward to seeing you all soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thanks, Patrick. Well done. Thanks, Evan. Thank you. Thanks, Dennis.